Namaskar and welcome to Express News. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi inspected the parade at the annual National Cadet Corps and the Prime Minister's rally, this is at Karyappa Parade Ground in New Delhi on Monday. Prime Minister Modi was accorded a Guard of Honour by the cadets. A total of 2,361 NCC cadets participated in the Republic Day camp this year. The Prime Minister also handed over awards to the cadets, those who were included as the Best Cadets Award, among others. Addressing the rally, the Prime Minister said that the National Cadet Corps has constantly inspired the youth of India towards nation building. On Monday, India's Home Minister Amit Shah took a holy dip at the Triveni Sangam. He was accompanied by the State Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and saints and sages. Before taking the holy dip, Amit Shah, along with his family, performed Aarti at Triveni Sangam in the presence of several saints in Prayagraj. The global e-marketplace Waves Bazaar was launched by the Union Minister of Information and Broadcasting, Ashwini Vaishnav, on Monday, and the Waves Awards also as part of the World Audiovisual Entertainment Summit. The Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami of the North Indian state of Uttarakhand implemented the Uniform Civil Code on Monday, becoming the first state of independent India to enact it into law. The Chief Minister of the northeastern state of Assam, Himanta Biswa Sharma, declared that Dibrugarh would become the state's second capital. The Chief Minister also laid the foundation stones for 4 significant flyovers costing about 377 crore rupees. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi thanked the French President Emmanuel Macron for his wishes on Republic Day. The Prime Minister also confirmed his visit to France in February for the summit on the action for artificial intelligence. The Indonesian Naval Chief Admiral Muhammad Ali was accorded a Guard of Honour in New Delhi on Monday. The Indonesian Naval Chief also laid a wreath at the National War Memorial. During his visit, Admiral Muhammad Ali met with the Chief of Naval Staff, Admiral Dinesh K. Tripathi, and held bilateral interactions to deepen maritime cooperation and strengthen ties between the two close maritime neighbours. India's permanent representative to the United Nations, P. Harish, unfurled the tricolour at the Permanent Mission of India to the United Nations' office in New York to celebrate the Republic Day. India's ambassador to the United States, Vinay Quatra, unfurled the national flag and relayed the President's address to the nation at India House to celebrate the 76th Republic Day of India. The Consulate General of India in Hamburg in Germany also celebrated the 76th Republic Day 2025 with around 300 members of the consulate gathering to unfurl the tricolour. The Indian ambassador to Germany, Ajit Gupte, flagged off a car rally in Berlin to commemorate India's 76th Republic Day. The Indian naval ship Trikand, the frontline frigate of the Indian Navy, marked India's 76th Republic Day with a special ceremony at Salalah, which is in Oman. A consignment containing humanitarian aid of bronchodilators, inhalers as well as ventilators departed from New Delhi to assist the people of Kurdistan region of Iraq. A joint parliamentary committee on Monday cleared the proposed Waqf amendment bill, which was tabled in Parliament of India in August last year. Uttar Pradesh government has declared the entire Mahakumbh Mela area in Prayagraj as a no-vehicle zone from Monday to ensure smooth management. Indian equity indices ended on a weak note on Monday. At close, the Sensex was down 824.29 points at 75,366.17. At close, the Nifty was down 263.05 points at 22,829.15. The Indian rupee ended 13 paise lower at 86.33 per dollar on Monday. Gold futures maturing on February 5 were priced at Rs 79,930 per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for March 5 maturity stood at 971 rupees per kg on the MCX. The Chinese startup DeepSeek's AI assistant on Monday overtook the rival ChatGPT to become the top-rated free application available on Apple's App Store in the United States. China's manufacturing activity unexpectedly contracted in January. This is an official factory survey has showed on Monday. That's its weakest since August. Credit card usage in India grew by 34% in Q3 2024, up from 26% in Q3 2023. Consumers have been spending more on existing cards. That's what the report revealed. The Indian government, in its upcoming budget 2025, may announce innovative measures to boost infrastructure and other critical sectors, according to a report by the State Bank of India. Universal Music Group, which is the world's biggest music label, and the Swedish streaming giant Spotify, they've reached a new multi-year agreement for recording music and also publishing music. India's Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal began his visit to Oman on Monday. Piyush Goyal met with his Omanese counterpart, Qas bin Mohammed Al Yusuf. They held talks on strengthening trade and investment ties. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu appeared on a Tel Aviv courtroom he appeared in the courtroom on Monday to resume his testimony in a high-profile corruption trial after a month-long delay due to surgery. Hamas on Monday handed over to mediators a list which showed that 25 Israeli hostages are still alive out of 33 scheduled for release. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced on Sunday that 6 more hostages will be freed this week. 3 will return on Thursday and another 3 on Saturday. The families of the 4 soldiers freed over the weekend thanked the US President Donald Trump on Sunday for the release of their daughters from Gaza. The newly appointed US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth spoke with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Sunday. Both leaders discussed the importance of advancing mutual security interests and priorities. The deal between Lebanon and Israel had been extended until February 18, as Israel missed a previous deadline to pull troops. Colombia on Monday backed down and agreed to accept repatriated citizens on military flights after President Donald Trump threatened major sanctions. The Trump administration said it will suspend planned tariffs and most sanctions. Since taking office last Monday, the US President Donald Trump declared illegal immigration a national emergency and directed the US military to help with border security. He issued a broad ban on asylum and took steps to restrict citizenship for children born on US soil. The US Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers and other federal agents conducted arrests in Chicago on Sunday. The agency's daily average for arrests was 311 in fiscal year 2024 and 467 in the fiscal year 2023. In Colorado, in the US Drug Enforcement Administration, they have detained around 50 undocumented migrants. The operation led to the seizure of drugs, weapons and cash. Over 1,000 migrants embarked on a journey from the southern Mexican town of Tapachula, and they moved towards the United States on Thursday. This happened, in fact, on Sunday after several had their appointments to seek asylum cancelled following the inauguration of Donald Trump. The Trump administration urged US agencies for international development workers to join the effort to transform how Washington allocates aid around the world in line with the Trump's administration's America First policy. Belarus's leader Alexander Lukashenko is in power since 1994, and he's won a 7th consecutive term in office on Sunday. This election has been denounced by the European Union and exiled opposition leaders. The Russian troops have taken control of the village of Velkia, which is Novosilka in eastern Ukraine, in the Donetsk region. So, drone footage also released by Russia's defense ministry shows that soldiers were waving flags atop shattered buildings and debris-strewn streets. The Ukrainian President Zelensky replaced the commander overseeing the defense of Pokrovsk, and this is the third time in less than a year. Drapatye has replaced the general, Major General Andrei Hanatov, who has now been shifted to a key role in training and communication. Tensions have risen in the Democratic Republic of Congo as the M23 rebel group has asserted control over Goma. The UN Security Council has condemned the blatant violation of Congo's sovereignty and territorial integrity, calling for the removal of external forces. South Korean authorities investigating last month's Jeju airplane crash have submitted a preliminary accident report to the UN Aviation Agency and to the authorities of the United States, France and Thailand, stating that investigation remains ongoing. All classes and examinations were suspended in Dhaka University on Monday because of clashes between students of the university with Dhaka College and 6 other colleges. So the clashes began when the university failed to agree to a 5-point demand by the students. They want to abolish the quota system in the admission test. 27th January 2025 marks the 80th anniversary of the liberation of the Nazi German concentration camp and the extermination camp Auschwitz-Birkenau. Let's take a short break. You're watching DD India. The Express News comes back in just a bit.
खेलता है झूलता उछलता है दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया।
रिटायरमेंट प्लानिंग के लिए तेरा एसआईपी के बारे में क्या ख्याल है?
रिटायरमेंट अभी तो पूरी लाइफ बाकी है यार।
और तुझे नहीं लगता अगर रिटायरमेंट के बारे में अभी से नहीं सोचे तो आगे जाके प्रॉब्लम होगी?
पर रिटायरमेंट के बारे में सोचना क्यों है इतना जरूरी? जब तक आप रिटायर हो जाएंगे महंगाई काफी ज्यादा बढ़ जाएगी और आपकी इनकम वो तो रुक ही जाएगी। इसीलिए आज ही म्यूचुअल फंड्स में एसआईपी शुरू कीजिए और हर महीने थोड़ा थोड़ा करके धन इकट्ठा कीजिए एक कंफर्टेबल रिटायर्ड लाइफ जीने के लिए। अधिक जानकारी के लिए अपने वित्तीय सलाहकार से परामर्श करें। LIC म्यूचुअल फंड द्वारा निवेशक शिक्षा की एक पहल। म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिम के अधीन है। योजना से संबंधित सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
Welcome back to Express News on DD India. Let's resume. As India celebrated Republic Day on Sunday, its national capital Delhi recorded the warmest Republic Day in 8 years. The maximum temperature was at 23.7 degrees Celsius. As per India's Weather Office, the northeast monsoon rains have ceased over South Peninsular India from today. 3 active fires in Los Angeles neared full containment as the region receives much needed rain that has produced flood and mudslide warnings lasting through Monday. Australia's southeast has sweltered in a heat wave on Monday, raising the bushfire risk as well as prompting authorities to issue fire bans for several parts of Victoria State. Australia's weather forecaster warned that the temperature could reach 41 degrees Celsius in Melbourne. That's more than 14 degrees Celsius above the city's mean maximum temperature for January. Floodwaters submerged cars and buildings in the western French city of Rennes. This happened on Sunday as Storm Hermania has brought heavy rainfall and strong winds. Strong winds buffeted planes as they tried to land at Spain's Bilbao airport on Sunday. In fact, the storm Hermania hit the Iberian Peninsula with heavy rains and winds in the northern Spain. after Storm Alwyn battered the UK and Ireland. Its strong winds damaged many buildings, causing roofs to be blown away. Snow hits North Korea's capital, Pyongyang, with weather forecasters predicting more heavy snowfall in the north of the isolated country. The eruption of Mount Lebotobi, Laki-Laki, in East Flores in Indonesia has displaced many, prompting a large-scale recovery effort by the authorities. The Mahakumbh Mela in Prayagraj has witnessed over 132 million devotees taking a holy dip at the confluence of the rivers Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati so far. The Mahakumbh Mela 2025 has witnessed a special fusion of Indian and Greek culture heritage. This is Penepoli. She's from Greece. She married an Indian national, Siddharth, at the Mahakumbh. Shanghai pet owners treated their furry friends to a special Lunar New Year meal. It's organized to reassemble the annual reunion feast that traditionally takes place on the eve of the Lunar New Year holiday. 11 dogs enjoyed shredded chicken and lettuce, donning traditional garments. This is a customary event for Chinese-speaking communities. Ahead of Valentine's Day, the Ecuadorian flower farmers, they are working overtime tirelessly to meet high export demand from the United States and Europe. This marks one of the busiest days in the industry. According to Quito International Airport, the peak season for Valentine's Day 2025 flower exports at the airport began on January 18. It's going to run through to February 8. Poland's Tatra National Park recorded a surge of visitor numbers in 2024, reaching a record-breaking 4.9 million. That outpaces some of America's most famous national parks. The Tatra National Park's director, Szymon Ziobrowski, was not surprised by the record numbers. He attributed it to the uniqueness of the Tatra Mountains in Poland. An unusually large number of visitors turned up to see an Amorphophilus gigas, also known as the corpse flower, which is in bloom for the first time in the Brooklyn Botanic Garden. This corpse flower, which is native to Sumatra Island in Indonesia, is famous for emitting a very foul odor when it blooms, which is once every 2 to 10 years. Bolivians are buying tiny bundles of fake dollar bills in the hopes that they will soon own the real thing by marking the traditional Ayamara festival of Alasita in La Paz. Alasita, which means by me in the Ayamara language, it sees people buying lucky charms related to their personal wishes for the year. New York City's council member Sean Abreu has sponsored a bill that will allow New Yorkers to take paid leave to take care of their pets and service animals. This move comes as researchers have found that animals can reduce loneliness, they can increase feelings of social support, and also boost one's mood. Giant pandas Bao Li and Qingbao, they made their debut at the National Zoo in Washington, D.C. to the delight of visitors. The pandas arrived in the U.S. from China in October and were given several months to get used to their new accommodations. Saudi Arabia's Islamic Arts Biennial, it has featured for the first time a public display of the entire Kiswa, that's or the cover of the Kaaba, which is outside the city of Makkah. Japanese adventurer Gump Suzuki has arrived in Cape Town at the end of a more than 6,000-kilometer journey across Africa. He's pulling a rickshaw. After living in a submerged capsule off the coast of Panama for 120 days, the German aerospace engineer Rüdiger Koch, he has received the official Guinness Book of World Records certificate for the longest time submerged. Buckingham Palace has published a new photograph of the King Charles, wearing a kilt which is made of a tartan named in his honour, and this is to mark the birthday of Scotland's national poet Robert Burns on Saturday. Coldplay's frontman Chris Martin wholeheartedly greeted India on the occasion of Republic Day. He sang famous patriotic songs during his concert in Ahmedabad on Sunday. Mel Gibson's new action film, Flight Risk, has topped the North American box office, taking in an estimated $12 million on a slow winter weekend, industry analysts have said on Sunday. Disney's Mufasa, The Lion King, slipped to a second spot, earning an estimated $8.7 million. In an interview, the former Beatle, Paul McCartney, the legendary Paul McCartney, has warned that AI, artificial intelligence, could be used to rip off artists. He urged the British government to make sure that the upcoming copyright reforms protect creators. The British actor Benedict Cumberbatch walked the carpet for his latest film, The Thing with Feathers. This is at the Sundance Film Festival in Park City in Utah. Okay, time for the sports news now. And the Indian Grandmaster R. Pragnananda played out a solid draw with his compatriot, the world champion Gukesh, in the 8th round of the Tata Steel Masters on Sunday. It was a much anticipated clash. India's Sports Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia on Monday attended the inaugural edition of the International Olympic Research Conference that took place at the Rashtriya Raksha University in Gandhinagar. The inaugural edition of the Women's Hockey India League, it came to an end, in fact, with Odisha Warriors lifting the title in Ranchi on Sunday. The Surma Hockey Club face the Vedanta Kalinga Lancers. This is a crucial league encounter for them at the Birsa Munda Hockey Stadium in Rourkela on Monday. News from the Khelo India Winter Games, and the Army has defeated the Indo-Tibetan Border Police 2-1. That was a thrilling final. They won the men's ice hockey event through that. The Union Territory of Ladakh secured a 4-0 win also against the Indo-Tibetan Border Police, the ITBP. This is the women's final of the ice hockey event in Leh. Yannick Sinner showed off his Australian Open trophy on Monday. He had retained it with an emphatic win over Alexander Zverev. Straight sets. Jasprit Bumrah on Monday was named the ICC Men's Test Cricketer of the Year. So the Indian spearhead has had an excellent 2024, both home and away. He picked up 71 wickets, mind you, in 13 tests. The Indian opener, Smriti Mandhana, was named the ICC Women's ODI Cricketer of the Year 2024 on Monday. India have qualified now for the semi-finals of the Under-19 Women's T20 World Cup after they thrashed Bangladesh by 8 wickets in Kuala Lumpur on Sunday. India are going to be taking on England. This is the third T20 International in Rajkot happening Tuesday. India leading the 5-match series 2-0. The West Indies won a test match in Pakistan for the first time in nearly 35 years on Monday. Now the Windies won that match. It's the second test by 120 runs. A convincing victory. Now the series is level at 1-1. Poland's record goal scorer Iva Pajor scored twice as Barcelona defeated Real Madrid 5-0 to win the 4th consecutive Women's Spanish Super Cup title. Barcelona blew away a miserable Valencia 7-1 on Sunday to get back on track in the La Liga with a ruthless victory. Lisandro Martinez earned Manchester United a narrow 1-0 victory against Fulham in the Premier League on Monday. Okay, that's it on the Express News. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.